It is back to school time during this unprecedented Pandora's box of a year. Technology has become increasingly important as we are social distancing in regard to education. And that's why today I wanted to recommend 6 tablets that are budget oriented for your own education oriented workflow, whether you are in high school or if you're a university student like I am. But before we continue here, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, as the YouTube algorithm likes it and will help push my content to more people. And if you are a recurring viewer, go ahead and click the bell icon and enable all notifications. It does help the channel out a lot. Alright, the first tablet on this back to school list is of course the one and only Chromebook Duet. It goes for $299 retail. That's what I got it for off of Best Buy. And it's in such high demand that I've been seeing it marked up for like $330 and $350 in some places. But yeah, it is a fantastic value tablet. Sure, it isn't perfect. The hardware inside isn't anything, crazy, and the OS isn't the smoothest I've ever experienced, but it's great for somebody who uses Google services like I do. I did in high school, and I definitely do in college, and for my business I use Gmail and Docs and Drive all the time, and the fact that this device runs these applications seamlessly and very smoothly is great. And you get all this in the box. You get this great sort of back cover case with fabric, you get this keyboard with a trackpad and these function keys. I would recommend this to you if you are a student on a budget and you primarily use these services and you don't need anything for like anything crazy like video editing or whatever. And keep in mind, you can run Android apps on here as well. For example, you can run some note-taking apps, and if you really wanted to, you could buy a third-party stylus and use that on this display. So yeah, a great value tablet here for media consumption and of course work with the Google Suite. And it's of no surprise to me that it's selling like hotcakes. The second tablet on this list is a bit more expensive than the Duet, and it is the iPad 10.2 inch. At some points during the year, you can get this for $249, so technically it can be cheaper than the Duet, but for right now, you can buy it for $329 from Best Buy or directly from Apple. Although I will say, at this point in time, I would keep an eye out or anticipate an 8th gen 10.8 inch models. So just, if you don't need an iPad right now, then I would maybe advise not buying one. But if you need something cheap and something that works, this is definitely a great tablet to pick up. A very safe purchase. You really can't go wrong with a baseline or a base iPad here. You get Apple Pencil support, you get the smart connector. God forbid you want to attach a smart keyboard like the Logitech Combo Touch, which I really love. You got Touch ID. It's a bit of an outdated design, but it works fabulously. The A10 Fusion on the inside is a great chip and can run games really decently. It can run, of course, all your work apps great. You can do multitasking, as I've demoed time and time again here with Safari and YouTube, and the split screen experience is great on this display, even though it's not the biggest. And I would highly recommend this tablet to a student on a budget who really wants to get into digital note-taking with GoodNotes or Notability, and of course, you have access to the entire vibrant Apple App Store. The third tablet on this list is a bit more expensive in most cases than the 10.2 inch iPad, and this is the Tab S6 Lite. And as I said in my comparison between it and the 10.2 inch, I am very impressed with what you're getting here. Not only because it has a great aluminum design and modern bezels, but you also get a stylus in the box, which really does work well. And I can absolutely recommend this to a student who is really on a budget and wants to do digital note taking, because once again, this stylus comes in the box. There's no need to pay an extra $100 for an Apple Pencil or a third-party stylus, and it works really well. And the app selection with Android is pretty decent too. A lot of cross-platform apps like OneNote, Samsung Notes is decent. I did a whole comparison between iPadOS and Windows and One UI, so I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below here. But yeah, you get a lot of apps. You get, of course, a stylus. You get great speakers, a nice widescreen display here, and a great design for $350. And yeah, once again, totally could recommend this to students. The fourth tablet on this list is a great value, I think, and that is the 2017 iPad Pro. Yes, it doesn't look as snazzy as the newer 2018 and 2020 models, but you get the deliciously smooth 120Hz display and this nice big form factor without breaking the bank. I got this for around, I think, like $550, brand new, actually sealed in the box, but of course you'd probably be working with a more used tablet or pre-owned or whatever. Regardless, though, you get the Apple Pencil, you get the smart keyboard connector, the A10X, which is even more powerful than the A10. It's great for gaming, it's great for multitasking, and really any light work. And I love, once again, the form factor. I have always been a fan of the 12.9 inch form factor since the original iPad Pro came out in 2015. And once again, this video is sort of like budget oriented. I don't want you as a student spending $1,000 on an iPad Pro if you don't have to. So if you want this big experience for digital note taking and whatever you do, then I would definitely consider copying one of these, because it offers, I would say, 80% of the new iPad Pro experience with a bit of old design thrown in. The fifth tablet on this list comes in at around $600 right now, and it has a special place in my heart. This was actually my personal iPad Pro that I used for my first semester of college. It is the 2018 11-inch model, and of course, if you've watched any reviews or comparisons between this and the new iPad Pros, the A12 and the A12Z are essentially the same. So this is basically a new iPad that was released 2 years ago, and I still love it. I would highly recommend it to anybody who wants the newest experience without breaking the bank too much, if you know what I mean. I'm not calling this device cheap. It's not cheap. $600 is no small number, but it certainly isn't $800, which you'd be paying for a brand new 2020 model, which is like a little bit better with a better camera setup that I don't think is super important. Of course, you can attach the Apple Pencil to the side here. It is a beautiful slab tab design that I've talked about for probably a year now. And yeah, I absolutely love this device. I could highly recommend it. This might be the device in this list that I can recommend the most. You're just going to fall in love with it, with the design, with the 120 hertz display, with the convenience, with the apps you can get on it, and of course the incredible performance with the A12X. It's just a powerhouse of a product, and if you want to do anything remotely creative with your schoolwork or whatever you do, then you can do this here with USB Type-C and a dongle. But if you want to do anything creative, video editing or photo editing or whatever, definitely get a higher capacity, and you can do that because, you can buy these used and at a markdown compared to the newer model, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you are a student and you want to enter the new-ish world of iPad Pro, this is the very tablet that I recommend. And if you want to go bigger, you could always buy a refurb or a used 12.9-inch model, a 2018 one as well. And finally, the sixth tablet I want to recommend is the Surface Pro 7. Mind you, the Surface Pro 8 is probably coming out within a few months, but of course, buying a last generation product is not a bad thing to do at all. I snagged this i5 8GB model for $799 with the keyboard cover. The pen was not included, but I think this is a fantastic value for somebody who needs a tablet for anything like creative work with Photoshop. You can use the Microsoft Pen here to sketch and manipulate Photoshop layers and all that. And of course, you have to remember this runs full-fledged Windows, 64-bit Windows at that, so you can run any .exe file. So if you're somebody who's doing programming or any kind of creative work or something that involves, Windows or Excel or Access or whatever, this is a great device. And if you want the tablet experience as well, you can always take notes with PenBook and Evernote and the Whiteboard app and OneNote. I demoed this in an iPad Pro versus Surface Pro 7 note-taking video. It's definitely possible here, and yeah, I love the power that it brings. I love the form factor. You get USB Type-C, you get this very nice magnesium body. This is very much like the Surface Pro 6, and it still has this beautiful 12.3-inch Pixel Sense display. I believe that's what it's called, but yeah, if you can pick up the i5 model once again, the i5 8GB configuration with the keyboard, I really would once again if you're somebody who needs a Windows device. And that about wraps things up here. I hope this video was helpful. Fun fact for anybody who cares and has stuck with me, this might be the last video that I shoot and wholly produce at my childhood home, my parents' house that I've been working out of since 2015. Everything started here, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's emotional, but it's definitely a sort of thought-provoking time for me right now as I sit in front of this camera here in my basement, maybe for the last time. Am I excited to get a different workplace or workspace? Hell yeah, I am. I am done working from home. I cannot do it any longer, and there's a bunch of different reasons why I'm partially moving out, if you know what I mean. I don't plan on totally leaving my house, but I want to separate my work from my home life, and I also want to be closer to school. It's just a bunch of different reasons that make partially moving out worth it. But yeah, I cannot wait to move my operations to an actual sort of studio space, not like a studio, but a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment that I am 99% sure I'm leasing out this Tuesday. So next week, or this week really, today's Sunday now, I'm going to be working on bringing everything over there and setting up shop. And of course, over the course of a couple weeks, I'm going to get my entire place set up, depending on if I sign the lease. I'm pretty sure I am, but it's a big decision. But yeah, thank you for making all of this possible. None of this would be possible without your continual support. I can't believe, people are like, I love your content, I love your channel, and they, subscribe to me. I still can't believe people are actually interested in what I have to say. People ask me, oh, you have 100K, what does that feel like? It just baffles me that, people actually like me, you know what I mean? And I'm not like, I don't have a low self-esteem. It's just super weird. I could talk about this for hours. Maybe I will in, future content. But yeah, I just wanted to make you aware. I did some sort of vague community post. But yeah, I am super excited to be shifting my operations to an actual studio space, something where I can, really focus and be more efficient. I'll probably increase uploads despite the fact that school is starting. But yeah, working from home has just been sort of sucky, and I really can't wait to, sort of once again differentiate my home and work life. And yeah, to end this video, normally, once again, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, comment, of course, and subscribe for more content like this. I plan on doing some sort of setup tour, like apartment, YouTube studio, vlog type thing. I'm going to post one video. I'm going to see how it performs. And if you guys really like it, I will bring you along for the ride. And of course, I plan on doing like actual dedicated setup videos for like my living room space and my bedroom space and maybe even my studio space, like in its own dedicated room, blah, blah, blah. Just stay tuned for that. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.